Thank you. Yeah, we ran into another good football team in our conference, which I think this conference is as good as any conference in the country this year. A lot of good quarterbacks and skilled players. Memphis was not shy on those. They had quite a few, and we had a tough time scoring points or stopping them. Same thing this week. We played Tulsa, very good football team. Gotten better and better each week. Coach Montgomery's done a great job there. He got a great scheme. They've, I think, had a great chance to be the winner of our conference. Had a couple of bad breaks, but Friday game, last game of the year, we got to play much better to have an opportunity in this game, and our guys are focused. They're looking forward to it. Obviously, last game of the year, we want to end up on some kind of positive note.
Take questions for Coach Tuberville, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
The first question comes from Dan Tortora at wakeupcalldt.com.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Morning. What's going on?
Not too much. Just enjoying snow in central New York.
Oh, my gosh.
Hopefully it's better for you out there.
I saw Syracuse this morning. It was getting hammered. Yeah, no, we got a beautiful day. It's 40 degrees, but it's a nice day.
Well, that's good. It's kind of ugly over here. But to look at this season, I know you made mention in your opening address about top to bottom how strong this conference is. Are you surprised at how the conference polling-wise and when you look at the AP and the coaches poll and whatnot as well as the college football playoff, that there aren't teams in there or teams higher? Does it surprise you, knowing the level of competition, that the American isn't always well represented in the polls?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but from top to bottom, this is as good as any league in the country, including the SEC. And the SEC's got a couple of very good teams. But if you look at our league with the quarterbacks and the skill, the coaches, some defensive players, I mean, it's a war every week. And, again, I've coached in a lot of good conferences. But, 2 years ago, when we pretty much got this league kind of cranked up, from top to bottom, it wasn't as good. But the last couple of years, last year and this year, it's a battle. Again, the skilled players can match with any conference in the country. We got more quarterbacks in this league than most conferences have. Some conferences don't have any quarterbacks. So it's been interesting. Each week it's a different challenge. Some week it's a physical game. Some week it's a finesse game. But, again, everybody's got real good players. And, again, this has kind of been the year of the quarterback. A lot of good senior quarterbacks that are playing and making plays. And they've got good guys to either throw it to or hand it to. So, obviously, we've been on the short end of a lot of games. But usually there's a reason. And one of those reasons is we're playing against good football teams.
Coach, how do we change this from here, the perception of the American, because you're inside of it, top to bottom how athletic the players are, and like you said, they can match up with anybody. You've been in what is now called the Power Five, and now, being a part of the American Athletic. How do you change the way that it's looked at? I mean, obviously teams are winning, and more than half the conference is going to go to a bowl game. So how do you kind of change the perception from here as a conference?
You got to have consistency. It's obvious, you look at a lot of games across the country. You have a lot more tradition at some of the schools, but it's all about winning, and it's all about beating teams from the Power Five. Just look at last week's game with Houston playing Louisville. That wasn't even a contest. And everybody says, well, they caught them off by surprise. There wasn't no catch by surprise. They played a very good football team. And, you go up and down our conference, the teams, and look at the third and fourth year players that are playing, the senior quarterbacks, the guys that make plays every week. And I'd match them up against anybody's. I mean, it's very comparable. Now, again, there's going to be teams every year just because of their name, because of the money they put in their facilities, their tradition, that they're always going to be top 10, top 15 teams. But there's no reason why there shouldn't be 4, possibly 5 teams in our conference that shouldn't be in the top 25. And, again, it's, as we've talked about, it's about name recognition and about tradition. and this conference has got to just keep doing what they're doing this year.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Coach, I'd like to take the next one, if I may, and we'll put, if the question *1 on your telephone keypad. As this season has progressed, your defense really seems like it's made a big improvement from where it was. And can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit, maybe in the context of a guy like Eric Wilson, who's been there and done some good things for you, top of the tackle charts in the conference and up there nationally?
Yeah, Eric's been a good football player since he's been here, and you know, I looked at the stats, and I think he's leading our conference in tackles. He's a hard-nosed kid, very smart, got his degree, loves football. Unfortunately, I had to play him out of position this year. First game, or maybe the second game, we lost our middle linebacker for injury. Eric was an outside linebacker, and I asked him to move inside and play. He did. He probably would have made many more tackles on the outside, but he's a team player. Our defense is much better. We're much improved. We've really been struggling in the last few years just with personnel and type of players to play college football. We've gotten better. Our defensive backs much improved. We've gotten a lot more turnovers. We're tackling a little bit better. This league causes you to make physical and mental mistakes on defense because of all the skill players, the spread offenses, run spread, pass spread. And so it is a huge challenge to play defense in our conference. Not like some of these conferences where they play two backs and quarterback turn around and hand it off all the time. This league, you've got to defend the quarterback, running back, and receivers. And then you got to defend the speed that goes along with it. So I've been proud of our defense. Our offense hadn't done a whole lot this year. We've been on the field a lot on defense. We've held our own. I would love to have seen us with a little bit better offense where our defense maybe would have not got as tired in the second half because of how many plays they've had to play. But our defense has been they've been challenged, and they've stepped up to the challenge all year long.
Thanks, Coach. Can you move on to the next question, please?
The next question comes from Joey Knight at Tampa Bay Times.
Hey, George.
Coach, to build off that first question that was asked, is there anybody in this league that you think would warrant Heisman consideration?
Oh, well, you know, I can name you the ones that we had a tough time, and I've watched them on film all year long. I don't know his name, but number 87 from South Florida is as good as any football player in the country. I think that Flowers, a quarterback, could play for any football team in the country from South Florida. I think number 5 from South Florida, the running back, could play for any football team in the country. Greg Ward from Houston, there's no doubt that's a competitive, hard-nosed quarterback. He's been hurt all year long, and he has made plays when you look like he probably should be on the sideline. I've coached against him all 4 years I've been here, and he is something else. But there's a lot of players all through our league, but those guys just stand out. You're used to talking Heisman. Obviously, you're not going to have a defensive guy even be looked at. But 87 should be, Greg Ward should be, number 5, the running back, and the quarterback of South Florida are as good a football players. And then, of course, you look at the Tulsa team we're playing this week. A lot of these kids don't get as many catches because they spread the ball around so much, but they've got good receivers, and the quarterback's having a heck of a year.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Rick Asana with Cox Media.
Coach, can you reflect on Zach Edwards' career at UC and what his prospects might be at the next level?
We signed him my first week I was here on campus, basically 4 years ago. Didn't redshirt. He's one of those blue-collar workers at safety. He's been kind of a mix between a safety and an outside linebacker for us. He's a defensive football coach's dream to coach because he has football instincts. He'll tackle anybody. He'll take on anybody. He's very good in coverage. Now, he stayed beat up ever since he's been here because he's that type of guy that just loves to mix it up. I've really enjoyed coaching Zach. Zach's a great kid, got his degree, works hard. And, again, he's been our quarterback, even though he started as a freshman for me 4 years ago. He's been our quarterback on defense every year. And, again, football smarts, they're hard to come by like this young man's got.
Any idea what his prospects might be at the next level? He got a shot?
I'm sure that he'll have a chance to be worked out. Again, I don't know what they really look for up there. I think safeties might be a little bit faster than him, but he could be a nickel, a big guy, go down inside a little bit. But he'll have some opportunities, and, of course, he'll have to just prove his worth when he gets to that point. But if it comes to intelligence and loving playing a game of football, they couldn't look for a better kid.